A dream that I had with you in the month of April of 2016. I was in a public pool. The scene was I was inside the pool. I was falling asleep in the water. I looked around. There was many people that were also in the water, and they had their face inside the water, and it appeared that they were falling asleep. I looked over to the right of me, and my husband was at the edge of the pool, and he was holding on, and I was holding on, but a lot of the people were not holding on. Most, actually, all of the people were actually in the center of the pool, face down. He was holding on to the edge of the pool, and so was I. While I was in my dream, I kept asking God to help me fall asleep, not to fall asleep, I'm sorry, not to fall asleep, wake me up from the sleep, because if you do not wake me up, I will die in my sleep. I kept praying this over and over again in my dream. And finally, I had enough energy to be able to get up out of the pool. And as I walked up the steps to the pool, I turned around, and on the right side of me was my husband. And he had been throwing up small amounts of vomit, which were basically beige and maybe a little bit of gray in there. And suddenly, after throwing up this substance several times, he turned to the right, and a huge amount of vomit came out of his mouth, and it was basically gray and black in color, and it landed in a receptacle in the center of the pool. I was able to look around at that point. My eyes were wide awake, and I could see all these people in different ages, from children to grown-ups, that they were actually sleeping. And I noticed that the water in the pool was very, very light blue, and everybody there was oblivious to what's happening. There was a stillness, like a really eerie sense of peace that was, in on earth. It was not real peace. And when I looked outside the perimeters of the pool, there were many people sitting by, and they were, under umbrellas. They were all slumbering. They were all sleeping. No one was awake. Everybody was asleep. So the dream comes to an end, and I ask Yahweh, God Almighty, what is the significance of this dream? What are you saying to me? What were all these people doing? Why were they asleep? Why was I asleep? What was the vomit? And he took me to Psalm 13:3, where it says, I'm going to read from the King James Version right now. Consider and hear me, O Lord my God. Lighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. And he had been showing me that the sleep of death is us walking through life unaware of what's happening, not developing a relationship with him. And if we do not get closer to him, as times get rougher and more, if I may say, evil, we will not be able to withstand what's coming, because there's a lot of things that are happening, and in order for us to be saved from what's happening, we need to have a constant relationship with God, and we need to make sure that we are in prayer all the time, fasting, teaching people, praying for people continuously. And I just encourage you. One time I read a book a while ago, and in this book, the woman said, "Oh, you should try to get up an hour earlier so you can pray to God and start getting a relationship with Him." And when I put the book down, I said, "Oh, Father, tell me, an hour? 1 hour? That's a long time." And I heard the Spirit say to me, 15 minutes. So I put my alarm clock 15 minutes back. And then 3 days later, he said 30 minutes. Yes, I'm sorry. 30 minutes. And I said, okay. So I put 30 minutes. And then 3 days later, he said 45 minutes. And so I put my alarm clock 45 minutes earlier than my usual time. And then, of course, I knew that the next step was 1 hour. He didn't tell me, 1 hour, but I already knew. And so I started to do that. And I started to wake up very early in the morning. At first it was hard, it's hard to wake up that early and have to do all the things that we have to do. But let me tell you that He has given me the strength He has allowed me to have so many things, and most importantly, I would like to say that I have a much better relationship with God now that I do spend time with Him. He is a relationship God, and He wants to have a relationship with His children. It's good for us to pray to Him and ask Him for stuff, but please don't forget to thank Him for what He's done, even the things you're not even aware that He did for you. And I think that He likes it when we come to Him. I'm naturally shy, but He has given me bravery not only to speak out, and speak to other people about Him, but also to do these videos. I hope that you would take this up with Him and ask Him to give you also dreams, or interpretations of these dreams that, a lot of His servants are having. May God, our Elohim, the only true and living God, totally bless you today as you live your life. And remember, He loves you very much.